Joining us now is OjyOkpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx, from the Abuja studio. Live in Abuja. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
Good morning.
You sound so excited. I'm not in the studio with you, and you're as happy as ever. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Rufai.
Logo. Abuja.
And good morning, Ayo.
Good morning, Oji. It feels so weird, you know. This
I'm in
is my
Abuja,
first
but
time
I'll
doing
be
it.
back in Lagos tomorrow.
Well,
all right, let's begin.
Help us bring Abuja to Lagos.
Well, as the nation continues to grapple with the grim reality of the food crisis plaguing the country, Vice President Kashim Shettima on Tuesday said that the federal government has uncovered 32 routes used to smuggle food to neighboring countries, causing food price hike and shortage. Shettima made the comment during a conference on public wealth management in Abuja, adding that there are forces that are hell-bent on plunging the country into a state of anarchy.
Just 3 nights ago, 43 trucks of maize, 45, not even 43, were caught being transported to a neighboring country. Just in that illegal axis, there are 32 illegal smuggling routes. And the moment those foodstuffs were intercepted, the price of maize fell by 10,000 naira. It came down from 60,000 to 50,000. And the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security is here. So there are forces that are hell-bent on undermining our nation. But this is the time for us to coalesce into a single force. Rally around our president, rally around our government, rally around each other. We have the resources, we have the intellect, we have the capacity to turn the corner. And Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to you not as the Vice President, I'm talking to you as a fellow Nigerian. I am assuring you that we have crossed the Rubicon. We are on a path to improved economic performance. But let's unite. What binds us together surpasses whatever that divides us. Politics come and goes. The highest any president can say in office is 8 years. Whether we like it or not, we spend more years of our lives outside power than in power. I was alluding to the fact that 4 years ago I was out of power, and anytime I get a call from Mr. Tony Illuminate, it used to lift my spirit. And very soon, whether I like it or not, the changing fortunes of time will make me to step aside. So are we going to destroy this country?
All right, Dr. Abati, Rufai, Ayo. You know that this video generated a lot of reactions because obviously a lot of Nigerians have been saying that, you know, the APC, all they do is give excuses. Now it is the, the smugglers that are causing the hikes in food price. I mean, I don't understand. But let me take a comment. This person says, thank you for the information, Mr. VP. Where are the names of the truck owners? Where is the video of these arrested trucks? From where did the trucks originate? When will you, APC, move beyond stories to excuses to save Nigerians? We are aware that criminals and saboteurs exist in Nigeria. However, we also recall that your campaign promised to tackle these issues head-on with your master strategist, Tinubu, who is acclaimed for assembling the best minds. Please stop deepening the hopelessness among Nigerians with your excuses. Renew their hope, aligning with your campaign mantras. Well, you know, in the meantime, Dr. Abati, Rufai, Ayo, a video showing a food truck being looted after an apparent accident, reportedly in Katsina State, has made the rounds on social media. The video captured the desperation among the residents in the area as they struggled to get their hands on the food items.
Kun ga yadda ake ta kwasan kayan nan ake ta kokowa maza da mata. Ga hinan kowa gudu yake da kaya yadda yake so, kun gani? Kun ga yadda abun yake? Kun gani? kun ga yadda abun yake ta tafiya ko maza da mata kowa ɗiba yake san ran shi ana guje-guje kun gani to ba ka da daman ka ce za ka tara ma ne yan sandan masu rasa yadda za su yi da su wallahi ka gani saboda haka dai abin da ya samu kawai shi kenan al'amarin nan sai dai mai fatan alkhairi kawai Allah dai rufa mana asiri a yi nan kaya abin da aka samu ka gani.
We've seen in this same country people fighting over bread on the streets of Lagos. We have seen in this same country people fighting over tubers of yam in this same Lagos. Tubers of yam donated by a public-minded religious leader. And now in Katsina, a truck, an accident. You would think that ordinarily people who have empathy, the first thing they would try to do would be to help the people involved in the accident. But there's so much hunger in this land that, the instinct of the villagers in that video was to loot the food items. So if a bag of rice is about 70,000 naira, if a bag of maize is about 50, 60,000 naira, what do you expect? There's desperation in the land. Which then takes us back to the point made by the Vice President. He was speaking at the Public Wealth Management Conference organized by Ministry of Finance Incorporated yesterday. And he made a point that smuggling is part of the problem that we face. Nigeria cannot even feed itself. But we provide food for as far as Central Africa. People loot because our borders are porous. He cited the example of the Ilela axis in Sokoto State. Now, 32, trucks, 32 points along that border alone. And the same story, I guess, is the same all over the country. But the challenge here is that government has to play its part. What is customs doing? Why are the borders porous? Why is smuggling allowed? It's not just maize that is smuggled. Petrol is smuggled. Cement is smuggled. So it's for government to wake up to its responsibility. I guess that's the point that those who responded are making. However, the key point made by the Vice President is that, one, we all need to come together. Each person must play his or her own part in terms of what you can do to help the country, and that the country has the resources. And he made the point before his audience that he was not speaking as Vice President. He was speaking as a fellow citizen, as a Nigerian, calling on other people to say, to rescue the situation, there may be hardship. All of us have to come together, including those smugglers. But those smugglers must be identified and sanctioned because it's an act of criminality. And then he talked about people who are trying to cause anarchy in this country. I mentioned that he complained about people who are seeking visas to go to Venezuela or turn Nigeria into Venezuela, or people who want to turn Nigeria into Lebanon. If there are such saboteurs in this community, I say it's innuendo. He didn't want to name them. But we know the people who have been fantasizing about Nigeria becoming Venezuela. If there's anybody seeking to cause anarchy here, those people should be identified.
Yeah. So for me, yes, some things the Vice President said was okay, but a lot of things were not okay. If they want a collaborative effort to solve the problem, they too should be ready to listen to criticism. And that's why I said it was very cheeky. You are saying you are talking as a citizen, not as a Vice President. You are trying to be state-manly and you are playing politics. The PDP was right for talking about Venezuela. The PDP was 100% right. We are already heading to the road of Venezuela. And when the PDP points out in their submission and puts forward veritable ideas, don't discount it and say, but this thing the Vice President has said, I'm condemning it because now you are playing politics in the situation. So people are suffering with hunger. You still have the mouths if that people are calling Venezuela and all of that, and you're trying to talk like a statesman. So the Vice President is doing double speak as far as I'm concerned. People should be allowed to provide solutions, even if they say it in a very harsh form, like Nigeria is fast heading the way of Venezuela. We should be allowed to make input. And it's not today we've been having smuggling in Nigeria. They should stop blaming smuggling for the problem. The problem is high inflation, a massive level of scarcity because of legacy problem. We are not even providing enough in the first place. It's not today they've been taking things out. Yes, we must solve the problem of smuggling, the connivance of officials and things like that. We must try to bring a stop. But it's not smuggling, that is causing this problem that is happening. Nigeria has a viable grain market. We don't have enough supply. And even the supply we have, there's no money to be able to buy it. Nigeria has had a viable grain market. That grain market in Kano has been there for decades. And that grain market serves across the West African belt. So people should stop talking smuggling. We have not provided enough. To this year, for the 4 major grains, Nigeria has said to consume about 12 million metric tons of those. We can't provide enough. All the money they put for rice pyramid and everything, we didn't see the paddy today. Today, paddy is very difficult to get. Look at the Lagos rice mill in Imota. They're not churning out rice because there's paddy problem. So let's not blame anything, and the vice president should stick to what he says. Oji, fire down, my sister.
All right. All right, Rufai, you're absolutely right. We cannot be blaming smuggling for this problem that we are facing right now in Nigeria. Like Dr. Abati said, and a lot of users on social media have said, we need to identify these culprits as well. But in the wake of the protests in some states, over the rising cost of living and the announcement made by organized labor that its members will begin a nationwide protest on February 27th and 28th over the economic hardship in the country, the hashtag I Stand with Tinubu on Tuesday began trending on social media. Daniel Bwala, a former spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar's presidential campaign in the February 2023 presidential election, in a tweet called on all political appointees of the Tinubu administration, members of the All Progressives Congress, and Tinubu's fans not to shy away from openly supporting the president. Well, his tweet reads in part, if you are a supporter of the Tinubu or you are his appointee in whatever capacity, or you are a member of his party, the APC, or you are a believer of his vision or a lover of Nigeria, this is the time to come out and speak for him in appealing to Nigerians to be patient in this hard times of reform agenda. There are enough facts and figures to support his efforts. Stop the ducking and dodging because of possible backlash, insults, and criticism. True loyalty is defined by sacrifices and commitment. No glory without story, no gain without pain. We are all patriotic citizens in this effort together. Well, also, Ayo, before I come to you, meanwhile, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has joined those who say that the protests in different states across the country over economic hardship are being sponsored. Akpabio made the comment during plenary in the Senate on Tuesday.
The situation is evolving on a daily basis. You can see a lot of sponsored protests here and there, but those people are not aware. Most of those sponsored protests are not aware of the kind of efforts being made by this Senate to tackle the situation, together with the joint management team of the federal government of Nigeria. There is no father that wants to see his child sleep in the night without food, with a stomach rumbling. So we must provide. That's why I said we must not limit our discussion to, we will not import food, we will not do this. Wherever we can find food to put on the table of Nigerians, we shall do so. It's an emergency situation.
All right, Ayo, you hear the Senate president there. I mean, he's the Senate president, Ayo, and he's making this statement here. Okay. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, let me start with, since the Senate president, Godswill Akpabio, of course, at this time, maybe he read Daniel Bwala's tweet, and in terms of coming out, all those, the supporters of President Bwala Tinubu should come out and encourage Nigerians to be patient. However, at this time where people are hungry and angry, it is important for leaders, especially the political class, to be very sensitive when making certain speeches, because that categorization, saying that these protests were sponsored, is is provocative. It could aggravate people to say that you're not actually aware or in touch with the sufferings of the people, for you to assume that people who have genuine concerns about the fact that they don't have food to eat have come out peacefully protesting to make their grievances known and heard by the government are being tagged as being sponsored. Absolutely not. Rather than that, he should identify with the fact that yes, and this is a challenge with, in terms of governance sometimes, it's an acknowledgement and an ownership of the problem, or rightly defining the issue, and to let the people know that you understand what they're going through and you are in the process of solving their issue, rather than totally discountenancing their experience. Absolutely not on. So in the way of defending the administration of the government, it's important for him to say the right things, but not to also provoke the people who are also hungry by saying that what they are going through is not really as bad as what they are saying, and only sponsored protest is what is going on. Absolutely. We've seen protests in Osun State. We've seen protests in both APC-led states and PDP-led states as well. Not sponsored. Beyond that, we also see, going back to what Daniel Bwala mentioned, that people, my rejoinder to that is that they are too hungry to come out to type or to say anything about the fact that they're supporting or rallying around the president. This is no longer partisan. It's not about supporting a political structure, a political party. It is a collective and shared need of the Nigerian people in terms of the sufferings that people are encountering, and the need to speak up. We must move away from seeing speaking up as criticism and hate and coming from the opposition. This is the reality of many Nigerians, and we need to pay attention to it and solve the problems.
Absolutely. Well said, Ayo. I mean, there is hunger in the land. Are we going to say that we did not see that video in Katsina State? Are we going to say that we did not see the protests in all of those states? This is the reality. This is real. This is what we are facing in Nigeria. And people need to actually really take this very seriously. Well, we'll take our final story. Well, Afrobeat superstar Davido on Tuesday announced that he will be donating the sum of 300 million naira to orphanages across Nigeria. Well, the award-winning singer broke the news in a short statement via social media, saying that the donation will be made through the David Adeleke Foundation, and that is part of his annual contribution to the nation.
Say them go feel it, them go run it down, them go hold it, them go.
All right. Davido, the superstar that continues to give. I mean, this is what we need, even from our federal government. We need to see these types of pledges being made. Dr. Abati, Rufai, Ayo, I mean, isn't it fantastic that Davido, I mean, I think it was even last year that he donated a sum of 40-something million as well. This is what we need to see.
Well, he founded the David Adeleke Foundation in 2022. And when he started, he donated 200 million, out of which, about 100 million was given to him by friends and associates. Later, 200. I think it was 250 he started with. Then in 2023, he donated 237 million. And this year, he has increased it to 300 million. We encourage everybody to support him in this quest of focusing on orphanages. And, his motto is, we rise by lifting others. And I think that that's an example that others should emulate. Thank you, Ojinika.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do rise by lifting others. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.